What's up? My name is Ross, and welcome to the first devlog for my game, Canyon Eternal. Canyon Eternal is an RPG that I've been working on since early 2020, super on and off, but recently, about 4 months ago, I restarted it, and I started this game design sketchbook. So what this is mostly like character designs and item designs, and just ideas that I have for the game, trying to stay as creative as I possibly can. And a lot of these pages are used for like game design concepts, so I'm not gonna like read these all out to you, but I do want to go through and spend some time showing you the characters in the game and just let you get the vibe of it. I think that would be a good first devlog to make, is just something to really just throw you into the world of Canyon Eternal. And I recently finished this sketchbook. It's the first sketchbook that I've ever finished, actually. And I've been watching a lot of sketchbook tours lately as I've been learning to draw more. And I just thought it'd be really fun to start with this. Welcome to the world of Canyon Eternal. Let's just get started. So this is the protagonist of the game. This is who you will play, Francis. I misspelled his name here. I spelled his name Fracas, but his name's not Fracas. It's Francis. So don't get it twisted. Notice the cute stickers. I've sticker bombed the hell out of this sketchbook. I like this butterfly dog thing. It's cool. Anyways, yeah, a little bit about Canyon Eternal as we get started. Canyon Eternal is an isometric 2000s flash game style RPG about this little boy who gets lost in a magical kingdom filled with talking animals. The gameplay hook of Canyon Eternal is that there is no consistent gameplay style. There's no sort of like turn-based combat thing. The game is actually made up of dozens of mini games. So every time that you do something different in the world, generally it's going to be a totally different set of gameplay mechanics. And none of it's going to be super deep or complicated. I'm just trying to make a bunch of really fun little experiences that just work to create this really crazy and fun world that is hopefully going to have a huge emphasis on just variety. The game has also got Metroidvania-style elements, like there's not going to be one single route through the game. There's going to be a bunch of different routes, and there's also just different kind of hidden gameplay mechanics that are just going to make everybody's experience very different, ideally. Now, these are systems that I've been making for a long time, but not all of them are implemented into the game yet. So I've got some basic coding done, like I've gotten systems figured out for like keeping your inventory and moving between scenes and saving data and stuff like that, but a lot of it is yet to be made. I haven't made any of the mini games. There's a lot to do in this game. So yeah, in these devlogs, we'll be able to get into all that. These are a couple of characters that I've made. These are actually the first two NPCs that I ever designed for Canyon Eternal, Frank Hockey and Lil Terrible. I first made these guys actually in like 2021 or something like that, but they're roommates, and I love these fellas. Lil Terrible is a sort of failed, depressed DJ with his own clothing line called Freaking, and then this is his roommate, Frank Hockey, just a chill dude. This is the main character, Francis's dad's office, which is where you start the game. And like I said, I recently started learning how to draw, so hopefully you can see my style get a little bit better as we go through the sketchbook, although I don't know, because it was only like 3 months, but we got a couple of more characters. Another really early character that I made and redrew for this sketchbook. I made him like a couple of years ago, but he's an Italian football head mouse guy. Love him. You have a screaming contest with him. That's one of the mini games, just to give you an idea of the vibe of this game's mini games. This is Cactodius. He's a little night frog king man, real king, with a little cactus castle. He's very tiny. I went to a Cracker Barrel on my way to the beach this year, and I spent this page just drawing characters that I would picture in a Cracker Barrel, I guess. You got a little busboy, a little customer, like he's a regular, a little waitress, kitty cat lady, Sticky Randy, he's the chef, and Moogrit, my favorite. You'll see in a lot of these characters, I sort of draw an isometric little thumbnail to give myself a better idea of what they're actually going to look like in the game, because these poses are really great for character design, but they're not so great for when I actually have to model the character to put in the game. Isometric style is tricky. If you're not really familiar with what that is, isometric games just show an even angle of the player from sort of up and slanted and down. That's a terrible way of explaining it. But I'll just throw some examples on here so you know what I mean. As you'll notice, there are some human characters that are in this world. Lots of humans get lost in the canyon, which is the kingdom where this game takes place. But most of the residents there are animals. And I wanted to base a lot of their characteristics on just a really big variety of stuff, like people that I know, professions, and celebrities. So, you might find, you might see inspiration in some of these characters from, stuff in media. But I tried to be as creative as I could. This was a mini game brainstorm page. I wanted to just come up with ideas for mini games. So, for example, I had an idea for a mini game that is a computer virus fixing game. So where your character would be responsible for helping somebody get a virus off their computer. And so you have to navigate a bunch of pop-ups and stuff like that. Like a yard mowing game, a supermarket plushie sweeping game. There's a screaming contest thumbnail, just a lot of different things. There's another system in my game that I'm really proud of the idea for and really excited for. And I've actually already implemented the programming. It was one of the first things that I ever did because I love the idea so much. But it's a scrapbooking system. So as you find things in the world, you can pick up little junk and scraps and put them into a scrapbook that your character keeps. And so some things that you pick up, you'll notice they won't appear in your items or your bag. But if you open up your scrapbook, you'll see that they've been added to one of the pages. And that can be anything. It could be a postcard that you find. It could be a little token from like a casino. It could be somebody's sash. It could be like a dog treat. All this, a library card, a stamp, business card. There's so many things, and I've got about 100 ideas for them, and all of these ideas I've made some kind of sketch for. But yeah, I'm really excited for this system. It's really helped me flesh out the world and just make everything as colorful and interesting as possible. Every time that I have another idea for a character, I can usually think of at least one or two little things for the scrapbook that are applicable to them that you can add for world building sake. And they're also just cute and fun, and I love designing the sprites for these as well. This is another page of mini games. You got stuff like a dance-off game. I based this off of Dance Dance Revolution. You've got like a downhill racing game, a pumpkin harvesting game, an impromptu fashion game. And these are all just like ideas for mini games. Not all of these will end up in Canyon Eternal, but there are 40 mini games that will ultimately be in Canyon. So who knows, like a lot of these probably will end up in my game. This is a JRPG minigame that I've fleshed out a little bit more. I thought it would be funny to have this kind of side quest that you can encounter where there are these three kids that are already mid-adventure and they're going on this super JRPG dramatic sort of adventure with villains and everything, and you're just a character that can just jump into it. And so one of the mini games is you're just in a JRPG for like 30 minutes. I think that'd be really cool. And these are the characters that are part of that: Duke, Pang, and Chick. You've got Bert the Alert. He's a sloth firefighter. He's not putting out any fires, for sure. You got Coogie. I named him because I really like the Dijon song Coogie, a song that he put out this year, and he's a cougar, so, that's what that is. Kustos von Draco, he is a Komodo dragon. He's an art collector. He's a very stylish and kind of wicked dude. Sometimes you get my isometric thumbnails are not very good, but they help me. You got Deb the panda. She is an office worker. She works as a typist. You got Bagun. He's a samurai. He's based off of a kind of a baboon. You've got this thing that I made. It's just called Sinking Thing. I know it's really scary and weird looking. It's a jellyfish, obviously. And he scares me. I don't know why I made him look like that. I think I just wanted to draw something scary. But yeah, kind of looks like a brain. Archie is a chameleon. He is a librarian, very fancy guy. You got Glopo. He's a tortoise. He is a torch keeper. Basically, he lives in this castle area, and he wanders through the tunnels of the dungeons that lead to the castle, relighting torches that have gone out so that humans who are lost in those dungeons can find their way to the castle towards safety. Another thing in this game that is present in the canyon is there are monsters there. So there are opportunities for your character to be hurt and even to be killed by these monsters. So there is an essence of danger there. You got Brad William Parks. This is a guy that I literally used a random character generator online to make him just for fun, just to see what that would get me. And I think it gave me some pretty good characteristics for him. He is a former CEO who's only friends with other former CEOs. He is a lemur. Let me see what else here. He's a devout Christian. And he's got a tattoo of a rainbow on his left bicep. So yeah, some cool characteristics for this very just random guy that I literally made with a random character generator. Weslington is a weasel. He is a musical composer who lives in a gothic city deep underground. Ashley is she is a leopard pop star. She's giving Charlie XCX vibes. I'm a big Charlie XCX fan, and so I kind of wanted to make a character based off like a pop star like her. I thought that would be very cool. And then one of my favorite designs is Andrea, which is literally a character that I made based on my girlfriend. She is a scientist researcher who lives out in nature, and she collects little junk and toys, and she's just a very sweet character that you can buy things from. One of the things that you can buy from this character is a science facts book, which I love because once you collect that item, it doesn't like unlock any new places in the game. It doesn't unlock any new abilities, but it does unlock new dialogue options. So every once in a while, if you have this book, you'll be in a conversation with a character, and you'll be able to just ask them, do you want to hear like a science fact? And you'll be able to tell them maybe a fact about the kind of animal they are. Like if you're talking to Ashley, it'll be like, oh, do you want to tell Ashley a science fact? And then you could tell her like a fact about leopards or something like that. I thought that would be cute and fun and cool and awesome and good and fun. Anyways, this is a map of the world. I'll show this a little more closely. As you move through the areas, you're basically going deeper into the world. You start in like a mountainous area, and you move deeper into the mountain, and in the side of the mountain there's a castle. From the castle, you can take a flying ship and fly to some floating islands. You can move through the islands and go down into the valley below, go through like a swamp, and yeah, you just keep going deeper and deeper into the world. I'm not going to go through the whole geography of the whole game, but I think it's pretty well fleshed out, and I like it a lot. I really love the world building process, and I think that's one of the things that the sketchbook has helped me so much with, is visualizing people and places in my world, and just helping me make it more of a real place. Yeah, these are a few pages where I just tried to come up with ideas for the areas of the game. There's 12 main areas. There is the hometown, dirt. There is the mountains. There's the castle. There's a floating island. There is a giant forest on that floating island with an overgrown carnival in it, and a huge tree in it as well that you can actually go inside. There is a little village in the swamps and fields far below the floating island. In this village, there are giant pumpkins for houses that people grow there. They grow these giant gourd plants, and they carve them out to make houses inside. There's a huge valley, which is very expansive and probably the most like nature-oriented area in the game. There are ruins below the valley. If you go down this great pit, there's an underground town. Below that there is a giant labyrinth, and from the labyrinth you can go into this underground Gothic city. Here I sketched a few of the major characters that are in the game. One of them is a spider. His name is Kumo. There's another owl named Shimmer. He's like sort of a theatrical director type who owns an opera house. Here's a little moth guy. I drew him really, really horribly. This sucks. He's a inventor. He's kind of a Renaissance man. He's a comedian. He is a scholar. He's a king, you know. Here I was just writing some ideas for like stuff that would be in the main character's bedroom. Just drawing little like icons for the areas of the game, because that's a tattoo that I want to get, like on my fingers, on my knuckles. I want to get an icon for every area of my game. I think that'd be neat. I made a page of just things that I think, which I don't really know. Sometimes I get thoughts and I just write them down. I don't like tweet or anything. I used to just tweet these kinds of thoughts, but I don't have a Twitter anymore, so I'll just write down things that I think that I like, or that get stuck in my head. Like one day I was just thinking the words yummy crazy granddad, and so I wrote that down. Fort Soda, cat dragon. What else we got here? Is your sofa running? Giga Seth. Dylan's mom gets the weird soda, but we got Phoebe, the toucan. We got Zood, the zebra. Both wonderful, pleasant, nice young folks. We got Lug, the lobster. Not a crab, I don't think. Right? Is he a lobster? Yeah. He's a lobster. He lives down in the mines. There's like some mines connected to the sewer, which is connected to the castle. One of my favorite areas in the game is like the mountains and the castle, which is a really early area that you can get super lost in. I want this game to be honestly like a little bit unapproachable. Like I want it to be the kind of game that you play when you're a kid and you have to keep coming back to, because it gets progressively like more intricate, but I want you to always want to come back to it. Like I want it to be sort of deceptively inviting, but I want there to be a lot going on under the hood. So like you'll enter an area and you'll be in the caverns, and you'll know that you're supposed to find this mountain or this like castle built into the cliffside, but there's a lot of different side routes that you can take. And I know this is just typical Metroidvania stuff, but I really, really focus on this with this game. And I'm really proud of my map making and the way that the world connects. And I think people are really going to be happy with that aspect, especially if they're fans of Metroidvania games. Mr. Beak is a Sparrow video essayist who makes videos about like birds and seeds and berries and bugs and stuff, like him. Anyways, also this game is based, it's set in like 2007. So, yeah. Got Saffron, she's a little merchant, adventurer girl. Buddy, he is an otaku. He loves manga. He writes his own little manga. You can actually collect a page of his terrible manga. We got Gordy, truck driver, possum. Got a couple of kid characters here. These are children that you can play a mini game with. They've got like they're playing like a game with toys down in the valley, and just kind of out in nature, like playing. And they invite you to play a game with them. And so you join this, they give you some toys and you start playing with them, but then it's like an auto battler game. So I'm excited to make that one. It's an idea that I've had for a mini game for like, honestly, like a couple of years now, just like an auto battler game with toys. I think would fit really well. Kind of a barren couple of pages, but this is one of my favorite characters in the game. Maybe my favorite character. Her name is Ichigo, and she is actually your bully at the beginning of the game, who happens to be in the elevator with you when it crashes and when you get sent to the canyon. So she's actually another human character that is with you, not through the whole game, but she's on the same voyage through the canyon as you, and you'll run into her multiple times. But for her, I was really inspired by rival characters in games, especially in the early Pokemon games, how you'd have kind of an antagonistic rival trying to do the same thing as you. But in this game, I really focus on her strength compared to you, and the way that she changes as she moves through the canyon and gets older. And yeah, I think that she's a really cool character, and I think about this character a lot. Definitely my favorite character in the game, actually. Cody. He is a orangutan undercover cop. Anyways, you got Laraf. He's a painter. He's very sophisticated. Dorsey. I think I renamed him to Dorpt. Dorpt. I think his name is Dorpt. Yeah. He's a museum curator, but he's always like popping up in different places throughout the world, and trying to learn more information and gather like relics and find little junk to bring to his museum. But he's got like a museum of the history of the canyon, and you find that later on in the game. You've got the Facemaker. He's just kind of a mysterious character. He's just like sitting in the carnival area of the game, just kind of vibing, kind of creepy. I don't know what his deal is. I think these are just journal entries. The anxiety event placement system. Actually, no, I don't want to talk about that system yet. Here we've got Piper. He's a snake. He works in the sewers under his boss, Slick the Cobra, who is an engineer. And together they kind of keep the sewers running. The sewers are important for the infrastructure of the canyon and the way that like water and power is distributed. It connects to the hydro plant area of the game, which is super deep underground. But yeah, the sewers are important. If kind of gross. These are my boys. These are my boys. These guys are my boys. These 5 guys technically. These are the evil boys. They've got a podcast. They live in the castle area, and there's a mini game where you help them run their podcast because one of them is out sick. And I'm super, super excited to make that mini game of just running a podcast with the evil boys. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to convince you to play my game if you can look at this, if you can look at these fellas and you don't want to jump in on their podcast, you know. It's an honor. It's an honor to be in the Evil Boys podcast. They talk about all sorts of stuff. Anyways. He's one of my favorites. I love this NPC. I just love his design. Brett the Bee. He's a pizza delivery boy. I kind of based him off myself like a few years ago, just where I was at in life. I was kind of doing the same job, and I don't know. I put a little bit of myself from a couple of years ago into this character and his vibe. I don't know. He's fluffy. He's a fluffy little bee. Oh, this morning I was taking a walk and I saw a big bee crawling into a flower, and he was covered in pollen. And he's like all fluffy, and he's got pollen all over him. And I knew that he was eating a big meal. And it was so good. And I took a video and I was squatting down, and I hurt my back squatting down to look at this bee, but it was worth it. But my back hurts so bad now. And so I think I might be like paralyzed or something. Anyways, this is Jennifer, the hottest girl in school. This is Frogman. He is a silverfish diver. Frogman is I think an old term for like scuba divers or something like that. Connor, the praying mantis. He's like another teen character. This is Abston. He's a cockroach. He's like the steward of the castle. So like he's the guy that you have to go through to see the king of the castle. He's kind of like stuck up. Some more scrapbooking items. Let me see if there's anything cool. Oh, here's Cody's gamer tag, which is like literally a real tag that he gives out to people. Poster for the live show for the Evil Boys. Oh, a page from Buddy's manga, his terrible manga that he's creating. I don't know how well you can see this. I really like this one. Anyways, I don't know, dude. I don't know, dude. You got some other stuff. Some designs for items. Some items that appear in the game. This is currency. So there's definitely shopping in this game. So there's like some of the collectibles that you can get are just money. So I've got different icons for different amounts of money. The game menus are also based on real things that your character would have with him. So like there's a backpack that you have that carries your items. There is a big notebook, which is where you keep your map and your scrapbook, and a little like a survival guide that you can make that has tips. And then there's the cell phone, which is the menu where you can access your contacts. So you can call players that you've met before on your cell phone. And you can also take photos with it. So you can get pictures of stuff that's in the world and keep it on your phone. You've got Ringmaster Bubbles. He is a robot carnival master, or like the head of the carnival. But he's just a little fish. He's very smart though. So he's built this like robot suit for himself. I think I actually might have ripped this idea off of like Midnight Gospel, to be completely honest with you, because I made him and then I was like, I feel like that's a trope or something, like a fish in like a robot suit. But I think that's a character in Midnight Gospel. So honestly, my bad. But I don't think the character in Midnight Gospel is a carnival ringmaster. So here's Rooter. He's a kangaroo. He's like a knight. I kind of based him off like a Dark Souls character or something. You've got Chiz. You got Chiz. He's a crypto bro. He's a sea urchin. He's a lot of things. He's a fun guy. He sleeps between two little rocks. You've got Antonio. He's based on a guy I know. He's a gamer dude, very friendly, man. He lives in the mountain, or like the side of a cliff or something. This is the character's dad. This is your character's father, Steven. He loves you very much. He's like a sort of a failed comic artist, and he made this comic about you called Abysser, in which you're this like kid superhero. But you can find little pages from his comic that he's written about you. They're like, you can find them throughout his office and in your house and stuff. Here's Maria Romero. She's your mother. She owns a coffee shop in town. Oh, and your character is like he's a teacher. You've got Rascal. He's a polar bear. He gets into some mischief, as you can see. Ginger, she's a seal. She's a gamer. She's lovely. She's a streamer, actually, as well. You can... this is the monster that swallows you at the beginning of the game. When your elevator crashes, it like falls through this giant hole in the earth. But instead of crashing, it is swallowed by this creature. His name is Dogmouth. You got Flip. He's a starfish. He's a gym coach. There's like a school in the canyon. These are just ideas for devlogs. These are some other like sketches of the main character, Francis, sort of at different ages and from different like poses and angles and stuff. I think I based the vibe and like some of these poses off Chihiro from Spirited Away. A couple more items, a matchbox set, hotel key cards, here are a couple of teachers that are also in the school. I guess this was when I was thinking of like ideas for stuff that would be in the school in the canyon. Got an aardvark and an ostrich, I believe. These are probably my two least favorite designs, if I'm being honest with you. Every time I flip past this page, I'm just kind of I'm not really into these. This is the theory where I worked on the color design of my game. So one of the, I guess, motifs of my game in my head is the color wheel. You start off in your hometown, and a key color there is purple. So every room and like a lot of the characters have purple incorporated into their design. And the areas move in like a color wheel in this sense. So like the next area is the mountains, and it's like kind of an indigo area. Then you've got the castle, which is like bluish. You've got the island, which is like cyan. And it's not like everything is going to be like monochromatic in these colors, but these are just key colors in the design of these areas. And so I want you to get a feeling of completion as you're moving through these areas, and finally finishing the game, and ideally, theoretically working your way back home if you can ever beat the game. Which, I'll be honest, it's a very big game, and I think a lot of people won't beat it. It's a lot, to be totally honest with you. It's a lot. There's an idea that I had for the logo that I didn't end up going with. I went with like a simpler logo instead, but I did keep this O this I for the O in Canyon. I like that. Here's an idea for an icon that I had. It's a pillow with a spider on it. A spider character is very important to the game, and also the pillow is just kind of a symbol of like comfort. So a big theme of this game, I think, is like the dichotomy or like the juxtaposition of comfort and fear. And I thought this was like a cool icon for the game. This is actually a sketch for my D&D character. His name's Slug. He's a halfling thief. Another couple of characters. These are both characters involved with mini games. Here's like a little karate kid hippo and a chicken who's obsessed with like tops. There's like a Beyblade style mini game. What was this? I don't know what this was. Oh, this is a really, really important page. This page is all about the way that the game connects in on itself. So I don't want to give away too much, but this is how I designed the world to be traversable. So you can complete the game in any order. there's 5 major bosses that you have to defeat to get through like the first act of the game, and that's what's going to put you through the whole world. That is like what is going to be you exploring the entire world for the first time. But this way, by playing the game in different ways, looking for different items, talking to different characters, it is possible to do these areas in any order you want. Although there's kind of an obvious order that you can do that goes this way, there are ways that you can explore the game by, say, doing an optional mini game to activate the catapult to send you flying down to the village, or playing a different mini game to actually go backwards and go from the village up using a hot air balloon up to the floating island. And there's just a lot of different ways that the game wraps in on itself and connects in surprising ways. And in that regard, I was most inspired by Dark Souls. The first time that I played Dark Souls, like everybody else, I was just amazed by the way that the game connects in surprising and satisfying ways. And I wanted to build a game that was kind of like Dark Souls for kids in a way. Yeah, I don't know. Goremaker, he's a boar like, I don't know, Daredevil bike rider guy. I like him. Allure, she is a card dealer. I like her name, Allure. I think it honestly sounds like a name that a person could have. I think it's kind of cool. But I think her name is obvious. She's like an anglerfish, and they literally have lights that tie to their head, or like that hang from their head that they use to attract things, and then they eat them. They're very scary animals, but they're very cool. Here I started actually trying to like work a little bit more with color theory and like pick colors that work well together. I don't think it worked so well for Allure, but I think it worked better with Goremaker. And some of these characters I have made like models for that are in the game. And I'll throw some of those up there, but yeah, I think I've got a lot of work to do on the design of my game and the art style. I think that, it doesn't look the way that I want it to in my head yet. It still looks really like shabby, and I don't know how to do the isometric style that well. And I'm still trying to figure out how to make the almost pixelated but like higher resolution art style work together. There's a lot to do. So I think some of my devlogs in the future are going to be based around improving my art style and getting my vision into the game more clearly, because I know exactly how I want it to look. I know all the stuff that I want to put in the game. It's just a whole different matter of actually filling the game with this world. I don't know. I'm just rambling. Trash Crab, Balana, Shadow King Dylan, Soup Chief. These are all, everybody's friend group, you know what I'm saying. But no, I like these characters. Trash Crab doesn't have a lot going on in his life. Balan is just kind of like a sweet piano teacher. Soup Chief is an elephant who you help run his kitchen in a mini game called Tiny Basketball Chef. And then there's Shadow King Dylan, probably my favorite on this page. He's a squirrel, just an emo squirrel. They run the arcade. There's an arcade in the game that you can go to and hang out at. Another minigame concept. Lord Armad, he is the king of the castle area. And the castle area sort of acts as a gate for the rest of the game. So if you choose to go in just the standard kind of recommended order of areas, he is the guardian of that area of the castle. And he sort of keeps out humans that are too weak to delve deep into the canyon, because it's a very dangerous place. So he's like sort of has the testing ground. Another minigame idea. This is only one normal human man. That's what he's called. He's definitely not a pile of oysters in a trench coat. Snert the snail. He's a big snail fan, which is good, It's important to love yourself. My back hurts. I shouldn't have looked at that B. Geigo, he's a key important character. He's a little frog. He's also sort of the leader of the village of pumpkin houses down in the swamps. Here's Goob. He's a gorilla gamer. What's his shirt say? His shirt says, "Gamer at play. If you pause my game, I'm gonna flip out and lose my mind." Cool shirt. I would wear that shirt. Screw. He is a merchant. He's a skunk. He lives in like a landfill junkyard area, and he basically collects trinkets and tries to make little contraptions and just tries to collect junk to sell to you. And so it's your job to sort of figure out if his gear is worth it or not. Another thing that a lot of the characters will sell to you is decorations, because I don't know why I haven't mentioned this yet, but there's a fort building system in the game. There is a magical cardboard box fort that appears in... There's one in every different area, but they all magically connect. So every time you go inside of it, you're in the same fort. So you can put up decorations in them and they'll all like stay decorated. So you've kind of got this like home base that you can always go back to. And I think it's very comforting and cozy and like fun to decorate. And a lot of the decorations that are going to be in it are interactive. So like a little musical, little like keyboard floor pad, an arcade machine that you can use to like replay mini games, a jukebox that you can use to listen to songs from the game, stuff like that. You got Scritch. He's a hyena. He is a rock climber. He's involved in a mini game as well that you use to climb out of like a pit area that you can get trapped in. There's Locust. He is a blacksmith. He's supposed to be a lion, but I definitely made him too human-like. I based this like pose and design off of, what's his name, Godot or something, like the blacksmith in Berserk. Danger Jeff, he's a tiger. He is like a race car driver. If you give him your number, if you make the mistake of giving him your phone number, he'll call you or text you very frequently asking when you're gonna race, and he will not leave you alone until you race him. There's Birthday Boy. He's a little chihuahua. It's not his birthday though. He's lying. Christian, he's a slug. Love that guy. Noah. Oh yeah, these three are all in a boy band together. What are they? There's a slug, he's the singer-songwriter, a leech, and an eel. So, Christian, Noah, and Big Legend. We got Murgle, the, what is he, a goose? Yeah, he's a wizard. He has a business. He runs one of the first online dating websites, only for people in the canyon, only for characters here. So that's a minigame, obviously. Another minigame character, Trent, he's a dinosaur. A lot of these characters are associated with minigames. I mean, there's 40 minigames in Canyon Eternal, so that's a lot. By the way, I haven't said this yet, but you should subscribe if you want to continue to follow along with the progress that I'm making on this game. I do plan on making devlogs at least once a month, if not once a week. I'm going to try to do them weekly. They're not all going to be like this. In fact, a lot of them are going to be shorter, much shorter. But for this first video, I wanted to do something really special and fun and just throw everybody into the world of Canyon Eternal if you see this video. So yeah, please subscribe if you want to keep following along with the actual progress on the development of this game. Jack is a flamingo. He's a burglar. He lives in like the deep underground Gothic city. Ferp is a gopher, I think, or a groundhog. He's a farmer guy. You've got Mona Ark, slay, drag queen. I don't remember where they live, but yeah. Mandy, a otter, makeup artist, like a beauty guru character. I think she's very cute and lovely. She's fun. That's like makeup stains on her shirt. She's always trying different makeup looks. Ooh, scary, creepy characters. Time for the creepy scarers. We got Skinbone. He is a vulture. He lives sort of underground. There's this giant, so there's like a giant tree in the game, and you can travel down it. And as you get to the roots, the ground opens up, and you're in this big cavernous area where you can walk on the roots of this giant tree. And he is a vulture that lives down there. And for some reason, you don't know why, but he is blindfolded and his mouth is caged up. And he's got a lantern like caged or like locked to his hand. And so it seems that he's being forced to be blind and not be able to speak, but to carry a torch to light the way through these dark roots. So a lot of this game is, really bright and happy and fun and funny. And then I definitely want to have places that are just frightening and haunting. And I really do want to have a game with huge variety where you just feel like you could discover anything at any moment. And combined with like different gameplay mechanics to create like randomization and stuff like that, I really do hope that this game has huge variety. I hope everybody has a totally different experience playing this game. I don't know how realistic that is, but I really do want everybody to have their own very personal journey through this world. Oscar is a illusionist. He's like a hypnotist. What is he? I think he's a tree ocelot. I went to the zoo recently, and I kind of just looked at the animals and like took a lot of videos and tried to read some of the entries that the zoo puts out, or some of the, like the text that they put out, like describing the animals. And the ocelots were one of my favorite animals to watch. I don't know why, they're just very cool. Courtney with 2 O's, pigeon, pretty funny. Get it, like coo, like so, because pigeons say coo. Anyways, Bastian. He is what is he? Oh, he's like a bat, and he's a game show host. So towards the end of the game, one of the mini games that you can play is a game show in which you're asked questions about the canyon and like people in it and places in it. And so the more of the game that you've seen before you get to this game show, the more questions that you can answer correctly. So I think that is going to be a fun mini game. These are just some icons. It's probably hard to see. It's really light. This is just pencil, but these are icons for key items in the game. So a lot of the key items are used to move you from one area to the other, like basically unlock a whole new big area. So there's a lot of gating in this game, like a lot of, there's going to be a lot of times where you have to look for the next step and try to find a new place to go. And there's a lot of opportunities to talk to people and gain information. And yeah, I don't want it to be a super obvious game. There's not going to be like, quest markers and stuff like that. Like I do want it to be a thing that you have to explore. One of the first characters that I ever designed, BB, very adorable axolotl gardener. She has a greenhouse down in the valley. She has kind of a tragic, sad quest involved with her. Frostin, I think he's the only character that's not an animal. I don't know why, I just made him an ice cube. But he's a cool dude, obviously, clearly. He's a cool guy, he's a cool chiller. He's got a cool pad that you go to and you can play air hockey with him, just for fun. Orlin is a orca. He's got a taco truck. This is that. You got Mayor Squeeg and his Secret Service agent, Agent Squeakofsky. A hamster and a shrimp. So, yeah, these guys are in some kind of political campaign or something. I don't know. I don't remember. There's a lot of characters. I'm going to have to find a place for all these folks. I love them all. Dr. Yogurt. I really like his name. He is a nuclear physicist. I think he's also a parakeet. and he basically has to live in the hydro plant and keep it from exploding all the time. Kind of a creepy character. Father Velvin. He's a reindeer and a priest. He's blind, and he lives in the labyrinth. So, yeah, great vibes from him. Bumper, kind of a cute T-Rex guard of the castle. Thomas, he's a turkey that runs the hotel down in the village. Fluffnik, like Sputnik. He's an astronaut trying to be a llama. Just look at him, just kind of take in his vibe. I'm very proud of this design. My girlfriend hates it, but I'm very happy with how this turned out. Kane is a dungeon keeper, like a jailer, who lives in the dungeons of the castle. He's a rhino. He's kind of got like a villainous, kind of creepy, evil vibe. I don't know, he's scary. Jimbert is a koala. He's just a guy, honestly. Like, this guy's just a dude. He's like a tourist photographer. He's got like tattoos. I don't know, I think he's a cool guy. Worf is a bartender and like a tavern somewhere. He's a whale. I like his name. Grimwhite is a very creepy character. He is he's an ant that has a shovel, and you'll encounter him in a bunch of different areas of the game. He'll be like tunneling through, and he'll give you tips, and sometimes, you know, they could be helpful. Sometimes they might be the opposite of helpful. But it's up to you whether or not you want to trust this guy. I mean, look at him. He's trustworthy, I think. Scrants, he's a ladybug who's always tweeting dumb shit all day long. Just a mosquito and a fly with a moving company. Skrunkle and Pungus. My girlfriend really likes these guys. A lot more scrapbook items. This was when I was trying to really finish out the scrapbook items that are in the game. We've got like the crumpled up birthday hat that you can take from the birthday boy if you want, if you don't believe it's actually his birthday. You got like a taco wrapper from Orland's Taco Truck, like an old floppy disk with like a virus on it. Like a little toy Lego head, all just things that you can collect in different spots that make sense once you're interacting with the characters or the places that you get them from, just for world building. This was my initial design for the base system and the fort that you can design, or that you can fill. A lot of these items you can either win from mini games, you can find them in the wild, or you can buy them from merchants. But there's like 30 items that you can collect for your fort. I think that's going to be a fun and engaging sort of like side life sim activity that you can do in this game. This is upside down. Let's fix that. Okay. What was this? Oh, that's just a couple more scrapbook items. More scrapbook items. Lots of scrapbook items in this stage. Stuff like a sock puppet, a little paper clip that you can take from somebody, a little toothbrush that was used to clean the taco truck, a tiny tie for bugs. This is my actual pin. I just drew the pin that I was drawing with. These are just some more key items that do different things. So a lot of the key items are just used to unlock new areas, but some of them are used as actual tools. Like there's dark areas of the game that you can't see well in, but if you have the flashlight, you can create light, stuff like that. This was just a sketching page that I bought. I went to the I went to the Institute of Art in Chicago, and I bought like these multicolored pencils, and I was just scribbling with them. Oh, there's also characters that are human that you can encounter in the world. There's not that many of them because a lot of them well, something happens to the humans that come down to the canyon, but there are some that are still okay. And they come from all different times in the world. I guess I can reveal this. In the canyon, it's impossible to die. So that is a really important mechanic and lore aspect of this world is if you're a human and you find yourself here, no matter what happens to you, you always get reincarnated instantly and you just cannot die here. So there are humans that you can encounter from all different times and places in the world. Like, for example, there's like a Mesopotamian scribe. There's like a 90s writer. There is a like black and white filmmaker from the 30s. There's a Celtic peasant villager. There's all types of different humans that you can encounter in the canyon. And I did the designs for these kind of differently because I wanted to just like sketch out as many as I could. I didn't have as much time to really design out the characters, but I realized that as I'm making the models for the game, it's less important that I have these super fleshed out, colored, fully rendered characters, and it's more important that I just know the details about them and like the stuff that they wear, and you know. This is like stuff that I don't want to get into yet. Oh, these were a bunch of little thumbnails that I sketched when I was trying to make environmental landscape background art for the main menu, but I really underestimated how hard it is to draw landscapes. So I've got these thumbnails for them to represent different areas. It's too hard to see what it is, but rest assured, it's really hard to draw landscapes. My voice is like dying right now. Oh, and this is the last page, actually. This is what I ended up going with for the main menu. It's just kind of an image of the main character's bedroom. I've actually already finished it, so I'll throw it up on the screen. But this is the first sketch that I did for the main menu image of Francis's bedroom. And then I just wrote myself a little journal entry, and that's it. That's the whole sketchbook. So thank you for watching this very long sketchbook tour for my game design sketchbook for Canyon Eternal. And I'm so glad that you sticked through the very first devlog of Canyon Eternal. They are not all gonna be like this. I might do another sketchbook tour in the future if I do any more sketchbooks for Canyon, but this was a great experience. I learned a lot from drawing in this and from, you know, really focusing on my game design ideas and trying to make everything more visual. It really, really helped me grow as a game designer in just like 3 months. So I highly recommend doing something like this if you develop games or, you know, do anything like that. Please subscribe if you like this video. Hopefully I'll do more sort of like this in the future, but I think a lot of them will focus more on creating actual art assets for the game and like putting stuff into the game. But yeah, now that you have more of an idea of the kind of things that are in the world of Canyon Eternal, I hope you're excited to watch me actually make them into a game. So please subscribe, leave a like and a comment if you want, and yeah, have a great day. Thank you for watching. Bye.